Hello guys, my name is Govind and today we'll be learning this pretty easy transition in Premiere Pro called spinning transition, and we'll also learn how to save it as a preset so we can use it in our future projects. So let's get started. I have these two clips already in my timeline. We'll move to the cut where we want to add our transition. We'll take Razor tool and press shift and left arrow key to move 10 frames backwards and make a cut. Then press down arrow key to move in the middle of the clips, and press shift and right arrow key to move 10 frames forward and make a cut. Then select both these clips and nest them. Now look for an effect called replicate in the effects panel. And drop it to the effects control panel. We'll change the count to 3. So we get this 3x3 multiple video in our frame. Then look for an effect in effects panel called mirror and drop it to the effects control panel. Now make 3 copies of this effect in a row. Now we have 4 copies of this effect. Now we'll play around with these values in order to get a reflected upside down video. Now this might be one of the important steps of this tutorial. The video that I'm using has the dimension of 3840 into 1080, which might be different than yours every time. Now change the reflection center to 2570 and we'll leave the second one on 1080. And we won't change the reflection center on this one. Now snap the second reflection effect and we'll change the reflection center to 1510. And for the second reflection center we'll change it to 1410. And that left us with this black area on the right hand side of the video. We'll fix that by changing the reflection angle by 90 degrees, which has now fixed the black area, which gives us this reflected video. Now we'll snap the third mirror option and we'll change the reflection center to 2570. We'll change the reflection angle to 360 degrees. Now we'll snap the last mirror option and we'll change the reflection center to 2520. We'll change the second reflection center to 1220. And we will not change the reflection angle on this one. Now I'm gonna play around with these values to change few minor things on the video. Now that I'm done, I'm gonna look for an effect in effects panel called transform. And I'm gonna drop it on my effects control panel. I'm gonna snap back all the mirror effects that I opened. Now in the transform effect, I'll look for scale and I'll increase the scale of the video. I'll increase the scale up to 300 so the rest of the reflected video gets hidden. That seems good to me now. When I play this video, you can't actually tell what's going on with the video because the reflected parts are hidden. Now that I'm done with my scaling, I'm gonna move somewhere at the starting of the video. Now I'm gonna move somewhere at the starting of the video and I'm gonna press this little stopwatch here to activate the rotation of the video. Now I'll move at the end of the video and I'll activate this key and I'll write 2x. This is gonna rotate the video 2 times. This now rotates 2 times. Now select both of these keys and I'm going to select ease in. Now uncheck this composition shutter angle. Now change the shutter angle to 360 degrees. It will give us a blurry spinning transition on the video. Now we have got this spinning blurry effect on the video. Try checking the smoothness of the transition by playing back and forth. The spinning transition came out really well, but I'm gonna add another effect on the video. So let's snap back this transform effect. And I'm gonna search for another effects in effects panel, which is called color correction. Type color correction and I'll choose brightness and contrast and drop it on the effects control panel. To add brightness and contrast in the transition, we'll move few frames forward. I'll activate the brightness and contrast keys here. Now we'll move in the middle of the transition and we'll activate the keys here as well. Change the brightness value to 75 and contrast value to 50. And now move somewhere at the end of the video and activate the brightness and contrast keys here. But on these keys, we will reset the values. It will give us an effect which gradually brightens up itself, which looks really cool in this transition. So now that I'm done with this, I'm gonna check if the transition is applied correctly. It should brighten up itself at the end of the video. Now select all the keys and select ease out. Then I'll move the keys to the end of the video and do the same with this one. We'll also move these rotation keys. We are pretty much done with our transition. Now the last thing what we have to do is to save it as a preset. To save it as a preset, I'll snap back all these effects. Now move somewhere at the starting of the transition and press I, and select somewhere at the end of the transition and press O, and then go to sequence and select render in and out. When the rendering is over, press Ctrl Shift and X to deselect, and we'll check again if the transition is working. Now carefully select all the effects that we used. Now right click and save it as a preset. Now you can name it as you want. I'm gonna name it as underscore spinning, so it appears at the starting of the presets. Then select type scale and press OK. To check if the transition is saved as a preset, I'm gonna remove all the attributes from this particular transition. To remove all the effects from the transition, right click on the transition and select remove attributes and then click OK. Look for the presets and the presets menu. This is the second one that I made. Now drag and drop it to the transition. As we added the preset in our transition, it gives the same smooth spinning effect on our transition. And that brings us at the end of the video. We'll come up with another transition tutorial video very soon, so stay tuned and thanks for watching.